It's my pawb Sadachi. Hello everyone, how are we all? Right, so this is a kit that I've had since before Christmas, I'm fairly sure. Yeah, it must be before Christmas. And just haven't got around to doing so. I thought I'd do it today. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what's included in the kit. Then I'm going to turn you off for a bit while I prepare everything to put together, so you don't have to sit and watch me putting tape and stuff on things. Plus my finger is still very sore, this one, and it's very red around here, so I think I might have to take myself off to A&E tomorrow because it's still very painful. Although by the time you watch this, hopefully it will be better. Anyway, let's get on. This is the Everyday Beauty Kit, and it's got lots of lovely blues in it. Okay, so first of all you get a sheet of these, which I have no idea what they're actually called, but they're self-adhesive, and they're just these little, oh, I know what they're supposed to look like. They're supposed to look like, oh, what do you call it, when you melt wax and you put a seal on it, that sort of thing. Can't think what it's called. One of those. You get a stamp kit. This is a stamping one, which has got this lovely little snowdrop stamp. There's Celebrate Today and Every Day, Thanks, Hello Beautiful, and For All You Do, which obviously goes with the thanks. And then there's two small foliage stamps. So that's the stamp bit. Obviously, because it's a stamping one, you get a D block, which will go in my collection. You get some tear and tape, which I shall put over there because I shall use the one that I've got on my desk from a previous kit. You get a Stampin spot in Night of Navy, and again I shall use my full-size ink for that. And you get a sheet of mini dimensionals, which I've also still got some on my desk from a previous thing. I've also got some full-size ones if I decide that I need full-size ones. Now, what else do we get? Okay, we get 3 of these, lovely foiled around the edge. So 3 of those. Well, I've actually got 4 of these. Can't quite see. It's got little dots on all the way around. So these are obviously matting layers. There's a, oh, now I don't know if this die cut is used, if they use that or both. So I'll find out when I read the instructions. And then a smaller matting layer there, and then a sheet. I think it's just the one sheet of these. No, there must be more. No, not necessarily, I suppose. Anyway, there's definitely some of these, which are, again, are very nice scalloped die cuts. There is just the one sheet of these bits of foliage in 2 shades of green and a blue. Some very fine, and I'll struggle to find the end. Oh, here we go. Oh yeah, very fine gold thread. I mean, that's like sewing thickness, that is. And I don't know if you know the trick, but when you have things like this and they come out all curly, then to straighten them out, you just put them between your thumbnail and a finger and pull down, and that should straighten it out. You might have to do it a couple of times if it's very curly, but I'll just wind that back round there a minute because I don't want that going all over the place. Then you get a sheet of these die cuts for stamping the sentiments on. Some more gold foiled die cuts. Then you get 3 each of the cards, so you can make 9 altogether. One of which is this lovely blue, which has pattern on the front and the back. This one, which is in the greeny colour, which has stripes on the back and foliage on the front. Oh. Or it could be that the foliage is on the back and the stripes are on the front. I haven't looked at the instructions yet, so I don't know. Only because this one, the foliage, I would say, definitely goes on the back, because this, I can't quite see. No, it's not showing properly. Well, I can't see that it's showing properly. This has got the arch here that's got dots on, so I'm assuming that that will be the front. But as I said, we'll find out when I look at the instructions. And then you get 9 of these envelopes, which have got this lovely little motif on the flap, which is nice. And oh, and they're decorated inside. Oh, now that's a thought. Are they different colours inside? I didn't look at that. They might well be. No, they're all the same. Yeah, they're all the same shade inside. So let's see if I can get those back under there. Okay, so I'm going to leave out everything that I need. Put that over there. Cards there. Put all my other die cuts over here. With those things that I can't remember the name of. And the envelopes. In fact, I could do the envelopes now. So I'll burnish the envelope flaps. Which I can just about manage to do that with my sore finger. It makes it easier then when I've made the cards just to put the envelope with it. Okay, and then the other thing I will do is burnish. Yeah, burnish the cards. I'm fairly sure that that's that way round. With the foliage on the back. This one, I'll find out which way round it is when I come to make the card. And this one, it doesn't really matter which way round it is, because it's the same front and back. There we go. So I've remembered to do that, because you know what I'm like. I put all the dimensionals on and then I go, oh, I should have burnished them first. Anyway, I'll be back very shortly. To you, it'll be the twinkling of an eye with all the bits that I've prepared for each of the cards. So, see you in a jiffy. There we are, I'm back again. Only seems like a trice to you, but for me it's probably been about half an hour. So, I'm going to put the first card together, which I've already prepared everything. So I've stamped the little flower stamp onto this die cut. Oops. And Hello Beautiful onto this. And then I've put dimensionals on the back of the gold bit. And put a piece of tear and tape on there. So I need to put this, or rather put this onto that. So bear with, because I need to just get that in the right place so that you have a little bit of the gold showing at the top. Oh, where am I going? Yeah, I think you can just about see that, and then the lovely scallop bit at the bottom. And then this is, I said, it's got dimensionals. So I did decide to use my large dimensionals, although I could just have easily have used the mini ones that came with the kit. So let me just look at my instructions. So take the backs off this. Okay, so that needs to go roughly, oh no, this needs to go underneath as well. Remember to stick that underneath first, so that can go about there, I think, and that should be caught. Yeah, that's been caught by the bottom dimensional. The instructions only said to put 2 dimensionals, but I've put 3. And before I stick it down, make sure I've got the card the right way round, which I have. So I'm going to put it about there. That's roughly where it is there, and then the Hello Beautiful is going to go just underneath there. Oh, I could even tuck that under there just a bit. No, I'm going to put it there. Then I need some of this lovely thin thread. I've already cut 3 lengths. They're all the same length, 57. It says 57.15, but I mean, who's bothering with the 1.5 or the 0.15? So 22 and a half inches if you still work in old money, and 57 centimeters if, like me, you work in new money. And then I need one of these seals. That's what they're called. It's a seal, sort of. So it says to make a loop it round a few times. Oh, might make it a bit smaller than that then. And loop it round 3 fingers. Just like that. Yeah, that looks good to me. And keep the ends so that they're at the back. And then it wants me to do like that sort of thing. A twisty job. And then I need, alright, this is the problem, you need more than 2 hands for this. Right, I'm peeling off out one of the seals, and I'm sticking this thread behind it. Yeah, there we go. Probably should have gone the other way. Yes, it should be the other way round. Okay, let's no. Definitely haven't got enough hands for this. Okay, this can be a bit tricky, so let's start again. But I need to make sure I get it the right way round this time, because it wants it to be so that when the seal is facing down, yeah, then the thread is going that way, so that's the best I'm going to manage today. And keep that little bit back there. Go on, stick. There we are. And then that sticks over the edge of Hello Beautiful and the other bit. There we go. Card number 1 made. And then obviously you can write or use another sentiment inside. And then when the envelope is put together with it, looks like that. Very nice. So that's card number 1, which I'm going to put there onto my computer. This is card number 2. So let me just get my instructions. Oh. My computer screen is behind the camera. It's what my tripod hangs onto. I've got one of those tripods that's got flexible legs, so I've got 2 are hooked over the back of the or over the top of the computer like that, and then the 3rd leg is sort of up against the screen holding it in place, and then underneath that I've got one of these little wooden things that just lifts it up from the desk a little bit, and it's got little compartments. And I had to pull everything out yesterday because my computer decided it wasn't having any, and the screen wouldn't come on. I was pulling and pushing all the leads, but I had to take everything out of my little compartments and drag it all forward, but Kevin got it sorted in the end. I obviously wasn't pushing and pulling in the right places. So, why was I telling you that? Oh yes, because that's where I've now got a space underneath, which is where I'm stacking the cards that I've made. Okay, so for this one, now when I got to the end of putting all the 3 cards together, I realised that I still had this matting layer left over, the one that's got the dots on it, and I thought, have I misread something? Yes, I had. In the instructions, it says to stamp this little snowdrop and the thanks onto this. But because it looked like the card, I thought I was doing it right by putting it directly onto the card. So you can put it directly onto the card, or you can stamp it onto that, which would then go on top. But to me, that seems a bit of a waste, really. So I've now got 4 extra matting layers to use somewhere, because they've given me 4 in the kit. So I stamped, as you can see, I stamped directly onto the card, because that's what I thought I was doing. And then the frame here, I've got dimensionals on the back. I've got a couple of the small bits of foliage, and one of the long gold die cuts, and then I've stamped For All You Do onto one of the grey banners, and then I've stuck that on already. It's not quite lined up, it's just a bit off at this end, but nobody's going to notice. So with this one, I'm just going to put the frame over there like that. So let's take the backing off. Whew. I'm warm now. I had to put the heating on. We went out this morning, and I have to say, it's not so cold this morning as it has been. It's been absolutely freezing here in North Wales, and it's been absolutely freezing and bucketing down with rain. I mean, it has rained every single day of 2026. I probably said this in my previous video, and I'll probably say it again, because it hasn't stopped raining yet, and it's just getting me down. So just line this up with the dots that are there, and then that can just sit nicely there. Okay, so I need to put this on next, and then I'm going to have to get my thread again and make another little loop. So this lines up so that it goes just about there. Yeah, so that fits nicely across there. So these 2 bits get stuck onto the back of another one of these seal things. Now let me just look at the picture properly so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, and it wants me to put dimensional on this as well as some tear and tape. Okay, let's see why I would need the dimensional and the tear and tape, but let's have a look. So let's get the seal and put these leaves on first. So that way round, and 1 leaf there, because these are self-adhesive, they're all sticky on the back anyway. So that one to go there, I think, just. Oh, right, so where's my thread gone? There it is. So fine I can't see it. So let's make another loop. Okay, so this makes me wants me to make it, oh come on, so that I make it into a sort of a figure of 8, but then turn it into sort of bunny ears. Does that make sense? Like that. And then that wants me to stick that on the back. Well, I can see why I would need to put some tear and tape on. Oh. Yeah, so it looks like that. It's better. So it looks like that, but then I will put some tear and tape across the back. Oh, I can see why it wants me to put a dimensional on, because I think it wants me to put it so that it just goes over this corner. I'm going to do it upside down so I don't actually stick anything to anything. So yeah, so if I do that and put the dimensional over there and a little bit of tear and tape. Now I'm actually going to do what it says on the tin and tear that just to keep those bits on. Although, yeah, that will stick then to this part of the card. Of course, now it's not going to let me take the backing off. Come along. Here we go. Okay, so what I think I will do is put that there upside down for a minute. I will get a mini dimensional. I'm actually going to stick it onto the card just there in that corner, just there. Then that's going to be easier for me to position this on top. There we go. Oh yeah, that's not too bad at all. I mean, you could get away actually with not putting the dimensional there, but just gives it an extra bit of strength at the back. Okay, so that's number 2, and card number 3. Let's turn the instructions. I'll just have a quick slurp of tea. Oh, some cups of tea are just the best, aren't they? I'm not a great coffee drinker, but I do like my tea. Although I say tea, I drink rooibos tea, which I prefer because it doesn't give me indigestion. Okay, so what have we got here? So with this one, so I was wrong about this being the front and the stripes being the back. Turns out the stripes are the front, flowers at the back. Now I've stamped these two smaller bits of foliage, and you might be able to see there's a little tiny mark there. What I did was, to make sure I got them in the right place, I got the bottom matting layer and I sort of put it there, and I made a pencil mark roughly there so that I knew I could get those in the right place. And it doesn't matter about that being there because they're going to get covered up by this. So let's put the first layer down. Now you could put this layer onto dimensionals, and in fact when I make the rest of the cards I may well do that, but the instructions say to use tear and tape, so that's what I'm doing. And I'm just centering that, so then you get those two just popping out the side there, and then this one goes on top of that. Oh, ow. Okay, and I don't suppose it really matters which way up it goes. Does it look better that way? Oh, I think it does actually. Or that way. No, I think I'm going to put it that way. I don't think it really matters. It's one of those, it's sort of bi-directional now. I'm just going to move this down a bit so that I can centre that. There we go. Now the Celebrate Today and Every Day I've stamped onto one of the banners, and then I've already stuck it down to the gold backing bit, so you just leave the two end bits so you can see the gold, which is nice. Now these are up on dimensionals, which will go there, but I suggest that if you do decide to put the backing, the very first matting layer on dimensionals, I would suggest you don't put that on dimensionals as well, unless you're going to hand deliver the card, because you know what the postage is like. If it's too thick, you have to pay an arm and a leg for it. So let's get this in the right place, roughly about there. Oh, and when you stamp Celebrate Today and Every Day, you must make sure you do it to the left hand side of this, because the seal thingy-bob is going to go there as well. And again with this one, they want you to put the dark blue foliage underneath, so that can go like that. And I would just get this last one, just try and see how they want that done. Okay, so where are we? There we are. Wind it round and round, make that the middle, give it a twist so it looks like a figure of 8, and then I want it to be, oh I see, okay, so they want it to be sort of bent round, like similar to the last one actually, so that it goes down. Oh, this is tricky trying to do it like that, but I will do it there. There we go. And I will just tuck that end in there. I don't like to have ends sticking out. Now they've made it so that this comes just in front of that. I just want to tuck that end up there. So let's have a look, see what it looks like. Oh yeah, 6 out of 10, see me. There we go, that's not too bad. And then again, just to make sure, put some tear and tape over the top, but this time I'm going to cut it. It says to put a couple of bits on. Definitely no dimensionals. Okay, so let's get the backing off that. Yeah, you wouldn't want to put a dimensional on this, really, because it would be sticking too far up. Now I just need to get that edge, just turn that back a bit. Oh, there we go. So just manipulate those a bit more. And that gets, oops, that gets stuck to my finger just there on the edge, so on the other end of the banner, like that. So there we go. So I'll just put that over there. These are the only things I couldn't pre-prepare because they're sticky. So oh, I know what I didn't do, I didn't put the envelopes with them. Okay, so that one is Celebrate Today and Every Day. This one is Thanks for All You Do, and you can either do what I did and stamp directly onto the card, or you can stamp onto that, which means adding another layer, which, I mean, it's behind there. I don't see the point, really. I mean, it's a slightly different shade. I would say that's slightly off-white, whereas that's more of a white. Doesn't matter. I don't think it matters, but like I said, that's an extra thing for me to use somewhere else now. and then Hello Beautiful, which was the first one we did. So there we are. That is the lovely kit called, already forgotten, Everyday Beauty. Yeah, and that is nice. And of course, you don't have to use these stamps. You can switch these up for something else if you particularly wanted to use them. Oh well, get them in shop. If you particularly wanted to make a birthday card or a sympathy card, this would probably be a sympathy card as well. Any sort of card really. You can use any other sentiment stamps that you've got. And if you're interested in what the coordinating colours are, we've got Basic Beige, Grey Granite, Lost Lagoon, Night of Navy and Petal Pink. So obviously I used the Night of Navy. I didn't use the Stampin' spot that came with it. I used my full-size ink pad because I find it easier. I'm not keen on those little ones. Probably fed up with me saying that. Anyway, that's another kit. Look out for another one, hopefully very soon. Hwyl am y tro.